All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore an idea today that, well, it's going to sound wrong at first. The idea is this. What if hope and fear are actually the exact same thing? I know, it goes against everything we're taught, but it's a core concept from the ancient Stoics, and they believed it was the key to a much calmer, more powerful way of living. So let's see how they make their case.
I mean, for pretty much all of us, this is just how it is, right? Hope is the good guy. It's a virtue, it's aspiration, it's what pulls us forward. And fear? Fear is the villain. It's worry, it's anxiety, it's this heavy weight holding us back. They feel like complete polar opposites. One builds you up, the other breaks you down. Simple. But what if that simple understanding is completely flawed? Over 2,000 years ago, a Stoic philosopher named Hecato of Rhodes said something that just turns all of that on its head. He said, "Cease to hope, and you will cease to fear." Just think about that for a second. That one sentence basically throws a grenade into our entire idea of how these emotions work. So how on earth could he possibly say something like that? Well, this gets us to what we can call the Stoic challenge. It's an invitation to stop looking at the surface and to see that hope and fear, they aren't enemies. They're actually just two sides of the very same coin.
And here it is. This is the absolute core of the argument. The Stoics said the thing that ties hope and fear together is that they are both projections. They're mental trips into a future that hasn't happened yet, and they're almost always about things we can't really control. So whether you're hoping for that promotion or you're afraid of getting laid off, you're doing the exact same thing mentally. You're leaving right now to go live in an imaginary future.
Okay, fine. They're both projections. So what? Why is that such a bad thing? Well, according to the Stoics, this constant habit of projecting into the future becomes the enemy of the present moment. And that's where we do real damage to our own peace of mind.
Think about it like this. Hoping for that amazing vacation pulls your mind into next summer. Fearing a big project deadline pulls your mind into next week. You know, the emotional flavor is different, sure, but the result is exactly the same. You are no longer present. You're not here in the only moment you actually have any real control.
And this constant leaping into the future, it puts us in direct conflict with a really powerful Stoic idea called Amor Fati, which means a love of one's fate. Amor Fati is all about embracing what is, right now, exactly as it is. Hope and fear are the total opposite of that. They're basically a rejection of your present reality in favor of some fantasy future that you can't guarantee one way or the other.
So you can see how this sets off a kind of psychological chain reaction. First, we launch our thoughts into the future. Then we get fixated on an outcome we can't actually control. And that fixation, it immediately creates two things at once. The want for it to go well, which we call hope, and the worry that it won't, which we call fear. And boom, just like that, we are completely yanked out of the now.
And this, right here, this is the kicker. The want is what causes the worry. The more desperately you hope for something, the more intensely you will fear not getting it. They're locked together. They feed each other. You literally cannot have one without the other.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little bleak, right? Are we supposed to just stop having goals or desires? No, not at all. The Stoic answer isn't about becoming apathetic. It's about a massive shift in focus, away from projecting about the future and toward adapting to the present. Seneca he absolutely nailed it. He wrote, "The primary cause of both these ills is that instead of adapting ourselves to present circumstances, we send our thoughts too far ahead." See? The problem isn't the future itself. The problem is our refusal to deal with the reality that's right here in front of us.
And you can really see the difference between these two mindsets. On one side, when you're projecting into the future, you're just full of want and worry, and you're ultimately powerless. You're like a ship getting tossed around by the waves. But on the other side, present adaptation, that's where the power is. That's about action, acceptance, and focusing only on what you can actually control, right now.
So let's be super clear. The goal here is not to become some kind of fearless, emotionless robot. It's way smarter than that. The goal is to see that hope and fear are running on the exact same engine, this engine of want and worry. And once you truly understand that, you can choose not to let that engine run your life.
Which brings us to the final question, really. A question for you, for me, for all of us. If you could stop desperately hoping for one version of tomorrow and desperately fearing another, what would happen? What kind of energy, what kind of focus could you unlock right here, right now? Seriously, what could you get done today if you weren't so busy living in tomorrow?